Okay, so another week has passed and we're back to work on the truck here. I was putting this back together and I wasn't planning on actually filming this part, but one thing, I'm putting all the hoses and stuff back on it right now. When you get to this point, don't do what I did and put the fan on. If you put the fan on before the shroud, you can't get the fan shroud on. So you got to do the fan clutch and the shroud at the same time, and then tighten those 4 bolts back there on that pulley. So it's the pulley, the fan clutch, and the shroud. The pulley, I guess you can slide on the shaft of the water pump, but the fan and the shroud you gotta do at the same time, or you're gonna be doing what I'm doing and taking the fan back off so you can get the shroud on. So anyway, thought I'd point that out to you. Shouldn't be too long, and what I'm hoping is the water pump is okay. I don't have any reason really to think that anything wrong with it. All the coolant and everything looked fine when it came out. It's just not blowing hot air, and I forgot all about it until I read online about the cable that actuates the blend door up under the dash. Here's my heater again. It's a cold day today. Temperatures started out at about 17 and it's supposed to drop down to, I don't know, 0 or something tonight. It's windy as heck out too, but I got it up to 65 or so in here, so it's not bad. Anyway, the blend door, it has a cable. Let's see if I can. It has a cable, say this is your cable, and it's just kind of, if I remember right, it's looped. It's kind of looped on one end, and that, like in a spiral, like a spring, and that fits over a post on top of the blend door, and then it actuates it in a circle and opens and shuts that blend door. And I read that online, and I remember years and years and years ago, that did come off once. And I remember thinking, that's going to happen again, and it never did until now, and I totally forgot about that until I read about it. So I'm hoping that's all that's wrong with it, and I don't need to replace the heater core. If I do need to replace the heater core, from what I've seen, this is one of the easiest vehicles in the world to change the heater core on, so shouldn't be too bad. And then hopefully we'll fire it up and won't have any leaks. Otherwise I'm going to be taking it back apart again and beefing up the gasket situation, but shouldn't have any leaks. You tighten all those bolts down, 18-20 foot-pounds or so, and man, that doesn't seem very tight, but that's what the specs are. And I tightened them they're probably 22 or 23. I gave them a little extra, but not much. Your torque wrench could be off that much, but it sure doesn't seem very tight. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work taking that fan off, putting the shroud on, and then inspecting the blend door, and I'll let you know what I find out. Well, we got it all back together, and I checked this blend door over here, and that's not the problem, so it looks like I'm going to be replacing the heater core. Wishful thinking, I guess. Anyway, you can tell, if I can get in here, get it right up, get a light in here, let's see, there. That cable right there, where it attaches, I don't know if you can see that or not, right there, it wraps around that post, and if I work the temperature control knob back and forth, you can see that working back and forth. So it's working, and then there farther you can see it where it opens and shuts the door. So that's not the problem. So I'm gonna remove the heater core, which from what I've seen is real easy to do. Well, I don't know about real easy. Nothing seems to be real easy. Anyway, this right here needs to be taken out. There's a screw right there and another one up there. And that pulls out and unplugs. And then there's something back behind that I think just snaps, and you can see the white plug for it right down there. And then I think there's 8 screws and a panel comes out, and then the heater core is just sitting inside there, is what I've seen anyway. So it doesn't look like it's a major job, but we'll find out here real shortly. So I'm going to get to work on that, and I'll show you the progress here in just a little bit. And there you have it. Like I said, the two things that need to come out are the first one, which is what we were looking at earlier, is this piece. And it's got two, I believe there's 7mm screws. One there and one up in the other corner. The other one, and this little booger, I'm going to tell you how to take this out. Hold on a second, I need some better lighting. The other one sits in there, let's see, like this, and there's a bracket back in there. If you can see that. There's a bracket right back there. And you see it's got two holes in the bottom of it right there. The way that works is this, where did I put it? This right here. It's sitting in there like this, and these slide up over those posts that are sticking down with the holes in them. Not really posts, but more like a big electrical spade or something. And this slides up over those, and it's got two little circles in here, and those line up with those circles, those holes in that, and they're sticking out just enough to keep it from falling off. So just take a screwdriver and you don't have to push very hard, just push on each one of those and pull it down, and it'll slide off of those two legs right there. And then it comes out, and you just unplug that connector. It says right on it, do not drop, which I'm surprised I haven't done yet since it says do not drop. But anyway, for some reason I thought the heater cores on these were brass, which you wouldn't find today. I know this one's never been changed because I've owned the truck since it was brand new, and it's not brass. But anyway, there it is. All I have to do now is just come out here and undo if you can see them, probably not, the two heater core hoses right here. There's one here and one here. Yours may have different clamps. These have these, I think they're the original ones on it, that just squeeze together. You pull those hoses off and that heater core will come right out. Now, I don't think the new heater core came with any, they've got weather stripping on them up there and also down, it doesn't matter, but there's some on the bottom there too. Well, in fact, it's on all four sides. Well, there's none over here. There's some rubbery kind of stuff on this side. You know what, maybe that isn't attached to the heater core. Hell, I don't know. I'll let you know when I find out, but if it is, I may need to go get some. I don't know. Which I wish I didn't have to do, but anyway, the other thing, to get this cover off, you got a couple wires on that one connects, I think it's right there, and then another one right there on the side, and they pull out with a connector that looks like this, so you can get a screwdriver back in behind it and just pry out on it a little bit. They pop out. This is that cable I was talking about when you run your temperature, and it slides over that post up there, and you get underneath that with a screwdriver and just push up on it, and it might take a couple of tries, but you'll get it to slip off of there. And then it's a little bit of a trick getting it back on too, but not too bad. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. This is pretty simple. I've heard of people having complete nightmares with heater cores, you know, taking them days to do them and having to completely disassemble the dash. Couldn't get much easier than this. There's, I don't know, it must be 8, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, there's 8 screws that go around the perimeter of this case. They are 8mm. I'm about ready to lose my screws. They're all 8mm. The one up here in that corner, well, once you get this out, I tried doing it without taking that. It's for your don't know what it's for. Windshield wipers or something. Anyway, without taking that little module out. And it's hard to get a couple of screws with that in there. The wires are in the way and everything. One up there in the corner is kind of hard. I got a deal on my... I got this deal on my wrench that worked really good. This is a spring loaded, or basically just a spring. Unless you get it in pretty much anywhere. It works on these smaller screws. It works better than like a universal joint adapter or whatever. But worked really good on that. It's about the first time I really used it on anything. But anyway, that's all there is to it. So I'm gonna unhook the hoses on the outside, get that out of there, and get the new one in.